Nigel Michael, South Wales, UK. What are your initial thoughts on TNA?
Nigel Michael, you sent a lot of questions in. Right on.
You did.
My initial thoughts on TNA. I thought it was cutting edge. When I first saw it, I was over in Japan. I was like, oh, this is interesting. And when I got to the States, I was like, yeah, this is really interesting stuff. As far as the matches, being put on by the X division, and then they were talking about this new Knockouts division. I was like all aboard.
Very good. Chris Doherty, how was your relationship with Dixie Carter? I know she's publicly very nice, but is she the same behind closed doors? Was she, you need another glass for this question? Was she approachable and easy to work with? What are your thoughts on her becoming an on-air personality? Do you think it's a good thing for TNA TV, or do you think she's taking valuable time away from the roster?
It's hard because, people put on different faces for different occasions, and I don't know if the face that Dixie put on for some of us was genuine, because I would hear from very reliable sources that, during production meetings, she had on a different face and would say things like, well, let them stay home and starve. So when I hear things like that, it's hard for me to take your smile as genuine.
Ramsey, Montreal. Dear Amazing Kong, in 2011, Power Slam magazine reported that TNA Knockouts, excluding Christy Hemme and Mickie James, were getting paid at most $600 per appearance and at most $38,400 per year. It also stated that TNA solely covers the cost of airfare, leaving talent solely covers the cost of airfare, probably means rarely, leaving talent responsible for all, they cover it, and then everything else is yours, including lodging, wardrobe, medical. How much of this is true? Is there any jealousy from the TNA Knockouts toward Christy Hemme and Mickie James because they get paid so much more than everyone else does?
I don't know if Christy Hemme and Mickie James do get paid more than, that much more than everyone else. I know that Christy Hemme is very smart, so it's plausible. $38,000 seems a bit on the low side.
How do you live on that and work full time?
You can't. It's you're maintaining two different households. You're maintaining the household that's your residence, and then your household that's on the road. It's every month you have two different rents. Your hotel bills and your rent in your apartment or house or whichever. $38,000 a year, is barely enough to cover for one, and then you have your medical expenses, and and with these girls, I'm lucky. I had like one costume, I had one set of gear, so I didn't have to change. But these girls invest a lot of money into what they wear and to keep up with trends, and it's extremely unfair, and I would say kind of sexist. Sexist.
So it's disproportionate to what a male working the same area of the card.
Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Men coming in and making this, and then you got the girls who, some of the time, especially when I was there, were the top ratings earners. For the show, and then you're getting paid less than Joe Blow. It's hard.
Company's run by a woman. The fuck.
Tell her.
We had her on, but we didn't talk about that. Daniel from Finland. Thoughts on Vince Russo as part of creative in TNA during your time there? How big of an influence was he in regards to your character and the storylines you were involved with? Are his ideas really as awful as one might be led to think based on the opinions of certain individuals, i.e. Jim Cornette?
I really don't know how much influence he had over my character. Dutch Mantell was mainly my handler until his departure of TNA, and then Vince kind of stepped in at that point a little bit. But for the most part, once Dutch left, the Knockouts just went to shit. So it's like, not. I don't know the answer to that, and
okay.
Really, no one knows, because no one knows what the hell they're doing over there at TNA. No one knows. I asked the question, who's in charge? Who's in charge of me, or who's in charge of this? And no one could give me the answer. I was like, I need a tree. I need the ladder. I need to know who goes here and who goes. And no one could. I said, just right here. Here's a piece of paper. Write it out for me. Nobody can do it.
Brian from Ohio. Dear Kong, before I ask my question, I wanted to say that you're my favorite wrestler today because of your feud with Gail Kim. I started watching wrestling again, so thank you for that. My question is, what did you think of Dutch Mantel and Jim Cornette? How much creative pull did they have on the knockouts when they were there? Do you think they deserve to be let go in favor of Vince Russo?
Okay, this is my pet peeve. I love you, Brian, but they're supposed to be T-H-E-R-E, not T-H-E-I-R. Just okay, thank you. Dutch had a lot of influence. He gave great directive, and whatever he would say, we'd go out there and do and put our own little stank on it, and it was successful. Let's see, Jim Cornette mainly worked with the guys, so we didn't really cross paths that much.
But the losing them and getting Russo was a move in the wrong direction?
I think that Russo was spread too thin. I just, I don't think it was all his fault. It's only so much you can do or cover or think up, creatively. I think he was just spread too thin, and those who were under him that maybe were in charge of that portion weren't really given the power to really make those kind of decisions.
Ramsey, dear Amazing Kong, after you were eliminated from the Knockouts Gauntlet match at Bound for Glory, how soon did you realize that you had a wardrobe malfunction and both of your breastises became exposed? What was the reaction from all the guys when you came backstage?
I don't know about the reaction from all the guys, because I went straight to the women's locker room, but I laughed my ass off, and I tried not to because, it was like my second match ever in TNA. And I was so angry with myself because all day long everybody said, "Q, you're not gonna wear a bra under there?" I was like, "Girl, no," because it has like almost like a built-in bra anyway. I was like, "Girl, no, it's okay. I'm only doing such and such and such and such." And then my gear got caught between, I think it was Gail and someone else, in the rope, and so they just peeled me out my gear like a banana, and then my titties clapped right in the camera, and I fell to the ground. And I was like, did that just really happen? And then they re-showed it. They played it.
Marcus JMC, what was the point of them highlighting that on their TV show over and over? I think they played it 4 times in a row.
No idea, except for the fact that this TNA, so they want to see it. I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be your monster. You're supposed to, forget about that. Not make a joke out of me. Cocksuckers.
Understood. Mick Whalen, at what moment did you realize that TNA was ruining the Knockouts division and you had to get out of there?
I think, right when I had to get out of there. It just coincides with, not because of Hogan coming in, it just coincides with Hogan coming in. Not because of it. Right. But it coincides with all that and all the changes that they made. Okay, you got yourself a new ring, you got yourself a new set, you're bragging about a new sound studio. I see everybody's wife in here, being rolled up in an escort vehicle, and my putt-putt is around the corner, way down the street. And you talking about you can't pay me more money? So...
Costin Hollies, you stated you'd never work for TNA again. What's the reason behind this? Kind of what we just heard, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, Dixie was down there in the trenches with us. We were building this product that was going to storm the world, and then they kind of forgot about the people that helped them get there and focused mainly on other names that were names, but some lazy-ass fucking names.